Have you ever had a question that someone's asked you that you've not actually been able to answer? Because the film that people ask me all the time is, what's your favourite film? I don't know. I mean, what constitutes as being one of my favourite films usually is not the same as what I think is the best film. Like, in my opinion, for instance, take it, the best film that I've ever seen is probably a film like A Beautiful Mind or Godfather. Films that I like to watch. I prefer to watch things like, I don't know, Knocked Up, comedies, action films like The Expendables. See, I've got simple tastes when it comes to films that I like, and films that I think are my favourite films. Not what the best, but I think they're favourite films. And here today is a list of my top 11 favourite films. Enjoy.
Buddy, you're a boy, make a big noise, playing in the street, gonna be a big man someday. You got mud on your face, you big disgrace, kicking your can all over the place, singing, we will rock you.
The Hunchback of Notre Dame, yes. I know it's not the best of Disney films, even that guy from The Adolescent Cynic would probably tell you that, but there is only one reason why I put this on the list. I think it was like the second Disney film I watched, but I still really like it. It's one of my favourite. It's also one of the darkest Disney films, true, but I just love the music in it, especially the music from the beginning, because it just gets you in the mood. True, the opening song isn't anywhere near as cool as the opening itself, but still definitely holds a place in my heart, and thus holds a place on this list. Next one. By the way, if any of you are wondering, I'm talking about the remake, not the original. Now, I didn't see this film until I was about 11, but that 11 or 12. But that film is just really good. It's good because it combines an interesting mix of several genres. It combines romance, drama, which it does really well, I think, and dance movie, which is usually not my favourite genre of film, because I hate street dance. I like Footloose, simples, but there is a reason why, mostly because I think the real backbone of the story that really helps it is the fact of this town actually is a reason as to why it's banned dancing and these other things. But technically it is a bit stupid, the idea of it, which they point out because it is. Anyway, anyone who hasn't seen it, seriously recommend it. Next entry.
You gonna take on the world someday, you got blood on your face, a big disgrace, waving your banner on.
Yes, Amadeus, the historical fiction story of how Antonio Salieri killed Mozart. Now, anyone who knows me or The Adolescent Cynic knows that we are civilized, we are fans of the arts, so films like Amadeus, which challenge these great composers in basically making even us surprised, the audience surprised, that Mozart, this known in history as being one of the great musical geniuses, was in fact a gaudy, ignorant, irritating prick, is just it's just such an interesting twist. And actually, as you'd expect. It uses Mozart music, which is perfect for the considering thing, and it is just a beautiful, beautiful movie. Anyway, watch it or I kill you. And you think I'm kidding.
We will rock you. Sing it!
I couldn't decide which one of these films to put on the list, so I just put both of them on the same spot. Ridley Scott really can do some fantastic films, and this is no exception. Black Hawk Down is probably one of my favourite war films of all time, because it actually captures not just the tactical part of war, but the human aspects of what it's really like to be in a situation which you know you're not going to be able to make it out of, and it's just perfect. And Alien, as everyone knows, is probably one of the best science fiction films ever, up there with Star Wars. Now, another film I would have put on the list was Blade Runner, but I just think Alien and Black Hawk Down are films that more of you will seen, but Blade Runner is definitely an honourable mention, as that is a really good science fiction film as well.
We will rock you. Buddy, you're...
Number 7 on the list is Tony Scott's time travel film, or sort of time travel thriller, Deja Vu, which I am so sad that Tony Scott's gone, because Deja Vu, Man on Fire are just amazing films. He did some great thrillers, most of them with Denzel Washington as his brother Ridley Scott does with Russell Crowe, but seriously, Deja Vu is just a brilliant film. If any of you seen Source Code, it's like that, but it was made in 2003, and the idea of being able to travel back 3 days in the past to be able to prevent a crime from happening in the first place.
An old man, poor man, pleading with your eyes, gonna make you zombie someday. You got mud on your face, big
Westerns. Whenever you hear that, you'll automatically think, wah, 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 with Clint Eastwood, The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, and those films, but I automatically think of films like 3:10 to Yuma. Brilliant, brilliant film. Probably one of my favourite westerns. There's another Ridley Scott film on this part which deserves an honourable mention, which is the assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford, which is a very, very good western, but it's more of a character study, and I prefer one that is a character study and has a decent amount of action and a better storyline. So the 3:10 to Yuma has all those things, and the soundtrack really gets you involved in the situation.
disgrace. Somebody better put your bag into your place. We will.
Nativity. Now, I didn't see that film until way after it came out last year at Christmas, and it's already my favourite film, children's film ever. I mean, it's basically does it's about a first school that thinks it's getting Hollywood to go and see its nativity play, but it turns out it was just Lyman. But it really is just fantastically done and very believable as well, playing on the audience's expectations, and really it is just fantastic. Anyone who hasn't seen it, I sincerely hope you do watch it next Christmas. You will not regret it. It is a blast. Oh, and the kids are really funny as well.
Rock you, sing it. We will rock you.
Lord of the Rings films. Now, technically, I could have put anyone on there because I love all three of them. I've got all three of them on the extended DVD edition. But this is a favourites list and I've got to put my favourites, so The Two Towers. I mean, I know Return of the King won the more Oscars and things. I just love The Two Towers. It's got more, it's got less battles in, but I love to see the Hobbit's journey and things. And technically, being a massive nerd, I have to state that technically Shelob comes about halfway through the second book instead of towards the end of the third film, but I give that a pass because they actually make it work and make it very believable. So Peter Jackson, thank you.
Everybody, we will rock you.
Hairspray. Anyone who hasn't seen the musical, it's basically about this girl who's quite fat and wants to be a professional dancer. She's a very good dancer, but nobody believes she can do it. And it's basically set in 60s America with all the segregation and things. It works. It's a good film. The reason why it's so high on the list is, as much as I hate to admit it, I can imagine myself being John Travolta's character, which is, I think, the mother. I can imagine myself being her in 10 years. And that really scares me. It really does. Either him or the father, and the father is awesome. Christopher Walken. Peace to you, man. The Blues Brothers. One of the greatest comedies of all time. Brilliant music. And actually those two play it very well. But it's always reminded me of the Sister Act movies, and I don't know why. It's probably just the jazzy music, but it's a great film. And the car chases are really funny as well. And the end is probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life, doing over-the-top action with car chases and things, just trying to file some taxes. Now that is just friggin' hilarious if you watch the film. I'm not gonna say anymore, but that's a film you need to watch before you die. This will be a surprise to anyone who knows me. But I just can't resist. My favourite films of all time would probably have to be the Batman films, minus Schumacher's one. But, because seriously, they are just, every single second of every film is just quotable lines, epic music, fantastic visuals, brilliant cinematography, great editing, altogether great film. I think the only problem I had is with Tim Burton's first Batman film, with having Prince as part of the soundtrack, seeing as it's good when it's used once or twice, but after a while it kind of completely destroys the tone of the film. Hans Zimmer's theme is the best. There. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this list. And remember, it's all opinion based. You have your own list. I would recommend you watch the Adolescent Cynics channel, because his list, which is exactly the same as mine, no it isn't, is probably a lot more interesting and a lot more funny to watch. So, pop round his as well. Adios.